Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is Friday, October 23rd. Thank God it's Pod Day, and welcome to episode 31 of the Can't Stop Playing podcast. We've entered adulthood, we probably have a few babies, and now we are ready for a lifetime of misery. But let's course correct ourselves with a great show. Joining me this week, as always, Mr. Reliable himself, Gabriel Von Gabe, in the path of a hurricane and still brings his hat here. How you doing?
Yeah. I just want to make it clear that you're the one with the babies here, not me. I want no part of this. I'm Mr. Reliable, and in order to be reliable, you got to have flexibility. And in order to have flexibility, you got to make sure that you don't have little evil people.
Okay, but children bring flexibility. Like, you need someone to, like, clean your house? Children. You need someone to, like, chop down that tree? Children. You need someone to go fetch fruit? Children. You need to trade something? You're like, I really want that Lamborghini? Children.
That's the only reason Zach would ever have children. He's like, I really can't afford this. Gotta invest in some employees.
Yes. Well, I really like children. I don't have any yet, but I do like them.
Good to know, Zach.
Children come to my doorstep every so often and say, like, hey, let's play.
Man. Hi, Max. What's up?
Hold on. You don't. Gabe, I have a great intro for him, okay?
Oh, my bad.
Here we go.
Sorry.
Right. And returning after a few busy weeks of campaigning, he is not part of the right wing, not part of the left wing. He's part of the Blitz wing. The new Prime Minister of Canada, Max Blitzwinger.
Thank you very much. I'll be running. I ran under a different name.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau. Okay. You know, I got dressed up a little different because I want to separate the two personas. You know what I mean? I don't want to get too mixed up.
You didn't want that raunchy Lego gameplay affecting your campaign.
Of course. You know,
Max.
As I was going out there campaigning with my people, in 2 weeks, I became Prime Minister.
Yeah, Max, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes you have your public persona, you know, and then you have the real you.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on your new position of power.
Thank you.
And I hope you can bring great change to the Great White.
Yeah, I'm planning to build a wall.
Oh, yeah.
Assemble a big giant wall between Canada and America.
Yeah.
Well, because look, China, they built a wall.
Yeah.
How long could that possibly take? You know?
The guys on Game of Thrones, they have a wall.
Exactly. I can't. It's okay. Maybe like what, 3 weekends?
Yeah.
We'll get it done.
You became Prime Minister in 2 weeks, so building the wall should take you like maybe what?
Exactly.
2.5. Yeah.
Can I have
a couple hours of work?
Can I give a wall suggestion?
A wall? Okay, sure.
Every 50 feet, you need trumpeters playing Hotline Bling on trumpet.
And you need trumpeters dressed as Donald Trump playing
trumpets. I kind of had this idea of like having Drake walk on the wall and like do performances every hour.
He got to dance, and you got to train other like Drake lookalikes to just be doing that dance. That dance is so classic.
That could take off, yeah.
Yeah, the Drake troupe. You just travel around the globe promoting Canada and via the dance. It's like a hypnotic dance. So you're really like Canada, Canada, Canada.
Yeah, but we can't afford to make it too expensive. So we just have like one private jet, and we kind of like land in a country, then just release them for an hour. They just dance. They come back into the jet, and we fly off to the next location. That's what we do.
Venues are way too fancy for Canada.
We're already making Canada better here, guys.
And look at that. Max is a man. No, we did lock him in our basement, but we let him out because he was getting a little bit ornery. Some people seem to think we kicked you off. That seemed to be the running thought since you were gone for 2 weeks.
I'm a big believer. It's like if you've ever watched like professional wrestling, you know that sometimes you got to go away,
right?
Because then when you come back, it's just you're a megastar, you know.
Yeah.
It's you gotta make him want it, and then bam, you come back. If you smell, and then there I am, you know.
So next week, me and Gabe are gonna go away, and it's just gonna be you.
Well, only one person can do it. If you do it too often, you know, it can't take off. You know.
So you've used up our go away and come back token.
I like how
for this year.
I like how the assumption is always that we just kick someone off. Like
we're just ruthless.
Yeah, like we're on Survivor or something.
Yeah. I mean, Gabe, if you didn't know, there is a public persona, and then people have private personas.
Yeah,
and you guys are known as the ruthless kickers. That's your nickname.
Like NFL kickers are ruthless kickers, those that still have a job. But
yeah, I was gonna say it's a ruthless business to be an NFL kicker. You don't last very long. But the gaming season has just begun, so that'll last for a while longer. We've got Halo 5 multiplayer, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Just Cause 3, Zelda Triforce Heroes, and more, all for a low price of free. If you want to support the show, though, you can review it on iTunes. That would be super helpful. Comment on YouTube. And stay tuned because next week we have a special guest from the Rise of the Tomb Raider team joining us. This week he was supposed to be here, but they found a new tomb. And so they couldn't resist.
They had to raid another tomb.
So next week.
Yeah.
But you did say he was supposed to be here.
Implying
that it's not going to be Lara Croft like you promised me.
Well, she's always here. She's just off screen.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
She's massaging my feet.
It's funny because she's massaging my feet.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on in GhostRobo HQ. I have to admit, I've been away for 2 weeks and a lot has changed.
Or has it all stayed the same?
Could be.
Either way, new games. Let's
New
get to
games.
that. So let's start.
Insert music. I figured out. I'll talk about it later. But changes are coming for the podcast, and I think it's going to be cool. And we're figuring stuff out.
We're all turning anthropomorphic and wearing furry costumes.
Ooh, we're going to become furries.
What? I didn't.
Max, you made some business decisions.
This is how they spring the announcements on you. They're like, "Hey, listen, we're now going to be dressed up as animals during the podcast."
Max, you're going to be a gopher. Zach, you're going to be a sly fox, and I'm going to be a rabbit.
Okay. Wow. That's.
Yeah.
See, the worst part is that there's going to be a good amount of people that will say, "Oh yeah, totally, that's a great idea. You should do that, guys."
Okay, but we are having a Halloween episode, so you do have to participate in this
Yeah. You got to dress up.
as something
Yeah.
Yeah.
on camera during the podcast.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
we're
part of
gonna
the
record
show.
it.
Wait, you can't dress up on camera. You can be dressed up on
Yeah.
camera.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
that's
don't
what
have
we
to get
mean.
dressed on camera. That's just for
Yeah.
me and Gabe. We just send that video to each other.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
All right.
Yeah, that's a private one. Because, public persona.
Private
and,
persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Japanese Persona, which isn't coming out this year. Aww.
Yeah.
I did play
That sounded
Persona
very
Dancing All
genuine.
Night, though.
Oh, did you dance all night as a
Yes.
result?
Yes. It has one of the longest, from start to gameplay, is probably like an hour. And you're in this dance studio, and there's all these teen idol girls, and I just want to dance. And it took a long time, but I did get to the dance, and then I got tired.
I don't suppose any of you played Tales of Zestiria, did you?
Nope.
No, I did not. Did you?
I'm interested in playing it. I haven't, just because there's been Halo and Assassin's Creed in the same week to cover, but I want to.
Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I'm going to take charge here because I am
Here we go.
I'm the Assassin's Creed
Expert.
No, it's my whipping boy. I always complain about Assassin's
really?
Creed.
So that's a franchise I complain the most about. So
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
So this one, I don't know what it is, and I have a couple ideas, and I'll throw them by you. But
I'll tell you what it is once you're done. Go
okay.
ahead.
I've super enjoyed my time with Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I've played a couple hours, and it's my favorite since 2. And I haven't gotten bored. I haven't found it repetitive. And I think that the dual character idea is great. I think that Jacob and Evie are the first likable characters since Ezio. I feel like everyone in between was just kind of a punk, and I didn't like them at all, and that made the story really hard to palate. But now, with 2 more genuine characters, I think they also do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Gabriel, but I feel like the world opens up with a lot more flexibility very quickly. You're not forced into a lot of bad missions. You're not forced into... I don't remember reaching a fail state in this game, maybe once because I did something dumb, but I felt like the flow is there. I felt like it has the best, it jumpstarts you into the game really quickly. They've reintroduced the modern day with modern day characters again. It's not just first person walking
And
around.
the modern day stuff is cool.
Yeah.
That's the different part here. This is the best modern day has been since, like you said, 2. So, I mean, a lot of the more recent ones didn't have modern day necessarily, but I'm glad they brought it back. And to me, the modern day stuff is the most interesting. But yeah, keep talking.
And I think, London, is it the most exciting city? No, but I like the verticality.
Wow.
It's
You just created haters.
well,
No.
back in
He didn't create them; they already
1868.
existed.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Now it's
Fair
just fantastic.
enough. Now it is the greatest.
Climbing. Have you done the grappling stuff with in Big Ben when you
Yeah.
unlock the? That is so cool.
It is
I
so
liked
cool.
it.
And
Yeah.
I saw some people saying oh, instead of making the buildings close together and making you able to leap around, now they added this grappling hook. So they created a problem, then fixed it rather than just having no problem. But I think that's a little bit of a incorrect analysis. That grappling hook definitely speeds things up. It definitely makes a huge difference in terms of going from point
Does
to
it
point.
move faster?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I remember
Yes.
when we played
Yeah.
it at PAX, you had to go no,
it's fast.
so slow.
Yeah, it's fast.
So there's a way to upgrade it?
No,
Or-
it's just speedy.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I'm sure there is
okay.
upgrades for it. I think me and Zach maybe have played right. I'm in the beginning of sequence 4 or
Me
something
too.
like that. Yeah, so we played just about the same.
I love that you can zip line from like tall point to tall point. You can zip line up, zip line down. You can just go straight up a building. And I think
you can assassinate off of the zip line,
right?
Because you can control your speed by holding the right trigger. And if there's enemies right below you and you want to take them out, and they're a little bit too far away for an air assassination, you can do a zip line across to the other building and stop in the middle, and then just do the air assassination.
I just feel like maybe it's tiny refinements, or maybe it's a mirage, but it feels to me like the controls, like the instant knife kills, the sneak mode, all of that just seems a little bit more dialed in than the past. The climbing, the ascending up and down, I don't find myself like running into walls and putting my hands out very often. There's some new animations of parkouring, which looks really good. And there's none of those annoying early missions of like trail these people and see what they're saying. Like there's a kidnap mission that I thought would be really cumbersome. Actually turned out to be pretty cool. I like that one a lot. The carriages even are kind of fun to drive and bash into people. A little bit of burnout when you're
fantastic.
Like boosting into the people on the side. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the earliest missions, you're in a carriage chase, and you have two other carriages chasing you, and you get to like ram them onto poles or whatever the case may be. The train one was super awesome. The very first train thing that you do with Jacob. It's still basically a tutorial. I think it's in sequence 2, but they introduced like a big train set piece like super early in the game.
Yeah, that's a great point as well. I thought there were more set pieces early on than there have been that I can remember. Normally it's like you make the set piece, so you go get the kill. But here, like, yeah, there's a huge train explosion, and you're like running through it and falling down it and having to descend, and like some really, I don't know. I was very worried about this game. We played it at E3 and PAX and walked away like, okay, Assassin's Creed, but like, at least from the couple hours we played, and who knows, maybe it devolves into terrible repetition, but from what we've played, I think it has the best set of characters so far. I really like Henry Green. I think he's likable as sort of your like initial guide man. You see Alexander Graham Bell, Charles Dickens, some recognizable faces. The cross-dressing police officer guy.
Yeah, he's a cool. I dig his beard. His beard's fantastic.
Right, and Jacob and Evie, I love the fact that you can switch between them. They do have very similar, if not identical, upgrade trees, but it does feel kind of cool that you can spec them separately. I do like that. If you choose, especially early on when you don't have a lot of points, you can be like, okay, Jacob's going to be the lock-picking, door-unlocking guy, and Evie's going to be more of the stealth guy, or Jacob's going to be better at fighting, and then you can, for a lot of the missions, select which character you want to use and switch while you're in the open world, which I think is kind of like a fun diversion.
I still think you're more positive on the game than I am. But I think I would be so much more positive if I maybe didn't play the last 2 Assassin's Creed. Like, if I wouldn't have played the 2 before, which were what, Black Flag and Unity, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say I never played those and I took a break from Assassin's Creed and I came back to this, I think I'd be super happy. I'd be over the moon. Because I don't think it's a bad game. And people were expecting it to be super buggy. Mm-hmm. I haven't experienced any bugs. There's one website that claims that it's still really buggy. I haven't seen it, and no other website seems to have.
I've seen one. There was a cutscene. It was the same cutscene that website was talking about, where Jacob and Evie are perpetually walking into the door, but not in the actual room. So like their items are just like floating as you see them like in the background, just like trying to get in the room, and they're not there.
I didn't experience that.
But like, I was also trying to think of like why the assassinations feel different here. If you remember, the first assassination in Unity is in that big church, and you go in the confessional and like assassinate the priest or whatever he is. And this one, the first assassination is with Jacob in a factory. And I think that they definitely borrowed some of the good parts of Watch Dogs here. The Watch Dogs DLC, I don't remember what it's called, with the long-haired guy, the guy with dreads.
I don't know what it was called either, but
you know what I'm talking about. That had a lot more of like open world, but still linearly moving through environments and then reaching your kill point. This starts off that way, and that's what we're talking about with the train sequence, but it begins in this factory where you have to shut down the steam, and then you go into the next room, and you're kind of navigating through it feels like it was a more crafted space, as opposed to just like, giant open church, go kill this guy. Like, there's a little bit more rhyme and reason to it, and I kind of like that. I like being guided through so that I was able to stealth around and able to get some kills and do a lot more than just like run on the rafters and take guys out. And then I thought when you get to the open area with Evie, where you're like taking out the barrels, stealing the key, like, I don't know, it gels better.
Stuff like that is very cool. I make it a point for every mission I do, I want to complete the secondary objective, because you get the extra XP, and XP is tied to your skill points. Every 1,000 XP you get a skill point, and that's how you're progressing your character as far as their abilities. One thing I appreciated is, I don't know if you noticed, but you can sort of play things out of order.
You can, totally.
Yeah, you have the little hub, which is like in this train station that's like abandoned that you make your base or whatever.
It's a moving train. Your hub is moving around the map constantly.
Is it? I thought it was just like an abandoned train station. Whatever, you're probably right. But yeah, you can go sequence 4 or sequence 8. One of them is more Eevee focused. One of them is more Jacob focused, and that's a very cool thing because Assassin's Creed, for me, and like you just said yourself, it gets repetitive a lot, right? And here, Eevee and Jacob, very different people, and they have different objectives. Eevee is all about finding the piece of Eden that their father had been looking for a long time, and she's all about getting that done. And Jacob doesn't necessarily care. He says, "I just want to kill Templars. Right. That's my thing." So you can have different variety just by doing that. And if you want to focus on one thing, you do. But
well, even with sequence 2 and 3, there was like 3 or 4 objectives that need to be completed to complete the sequence, but you could do them in any order. And I don't remember that being as prevalent in past games. I do like the new combat. I think it's not a huge departure.
It's Batman combat now.
Yeah, so. It's faster and feels more Batman-esque as opposed to like attack and like stand and attack and stand.
And those kill animations are so brutal and they're so on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm I sound more positive on the game than I am. I'm still like sort of indifferent about it. Like that's why I haven't played more of it. But what I've played, it's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I said. I wish I hadn't played the last couple of Assassin's Creed so I can like super just dive into this one.
Yeah, and they do introduce, like we mentioned, some modern day Templars and some modern day assassins, and I'm curious to see if that goes anywhere. I still think like a modern day Assassin's Creed, either in like New York City or Walt Disney World, would be so awesome. Like hiding in
Disney World.
Yeah, like amusement park chaos or
Universal Studios.
That'd be very good.
That could be a fun like DLC game.
Yeah, like terror at the amusement park.
Yeah,
all the kids are like, "Wah!" And the
what was that? Assassin's Creed China, was it?
Yeah,
yeah. The second part of that's still coming. I forget what it's called, but
yeah,
Assassin's Creed
they could do it
India.
on that kind of scale.
That's the only thing, man. The oversaturation of just the brand.
There's been how many Assassin's Creed games have come out in total? If you look at all the little expansions and stuff, I think there's been 17 Assassin's Creed titles since 2009. No,
right?
7. I think that's when the first one came out.
You're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, there's 10 mainline console games, including Rogue, and then you've got Liberation, China. That puts it at 12, and then there's probably a couple that I'm forgetting. So yeah, it's an absurd amount.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy, and I think that's genuinely why I think you can kind of see it almost with the marketing of this game. Again, I've not played it. I've always been upfront about the fact that the only Assassin's Creed game that I've played to completion was 2. That's the only one that I've enjoyed. Since then, I've kind of dabbled in some. I tried 3. I tried Black Flag. Didn't enjoy either one, so didn't complete them.
I think you would enjoy this one since you have a big gap since when you played the last one.
Yeah. I might check it out. But I think that you can even see a Ubisoft kind of almost a little bit panic with the fact that nobody's really like talking about this Assassin's Creed game like they did about previous titles. Like, before this, you would get that kind of groundswell, of people like, okay, I can't wait. Here comes the next Assassin's Creed game. But like, I have like in real life friends, obviously, that love Assassin's Creed. Like they'll buy Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty, and like they kind of only buy the big titles. But even they are like, kind of not really excited about Assassin's Creed anymore.
Are you saying we're not your real life friends? We were in the shower together, Max.
Okay, first of all, we were fully clothed, everybody. There was footage that proves that.
The shower wasn't on.
And it was not on. Yeah. We were just in a shower stall.
Yeah.
We were not in a shower together. Even though Gabe likes to carry his loofahs all around. That's like his gimmick. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see how the game does. But I have a feeling like this one's going to be, it's not going to sell as well. Even though it sounds like, to me, it sounds like the fact that the game has an interesting setting that kind of like benefits the game, and plus, like from what it seems like, it doesn't sound like they did anything hugely different, but they just kind of tightened up and polished tiny little mechanisms to make the product feel more cohesive.
And that's where you're wrong, Max, because they did do something hugely different.
Oh, yeah?
There's women in this game. Okay, you get to be a woman for the first time. You get to kill women. You've killed women in Assassin's Creed games before, but they've always been
not this many women.
Yeah, they've always been like major assassination targets. Here, it's just women enemies. Like you get to just beat women. Fantastic game.
Great.
No, but
that's Gabe's gonna get quoted on that, and it's gonna be on the front of the box.
Do it.
You get to beat women. Volatile Gabe 2015.
Game's cool, man. I hope I know they won't. But my hope is that they take a year off.
Don't give us
I know, but to me it would be fantastic if next year there is no Assassin's Creed. Give us Watch Dogs.
I think it'd be cool if they switch it up, like make it so that like next year they're like, hey, here's a new Watch Dogs, no Assassin's Creed. Then Assassin's Creed the year after that, and then just flip and flop them.
In an ideal world, that's what I want. Plus, I have For Honor coming up, which is, in my opinion, the hottest thing that Ubisoft has going for them right now. I really liked what I played of that game, although they corrupted my footage when we captured.
Maybe you didn't have enough honor, so they were like, Dishonored.
Yeah.
And then they replaced the footage with Dishonored.
That's it.
They replaced the footage. Now you have Dishonored.
They take a strong magnet and put it over the hard drive. They're like, done. It's erased.
Yeah.
I do like, in the defense of past Zach, who thought Black Flag and Unity were kind of meh. I mean, I thought those games were okay from like
Black Flag was good. I like Black Flag.
I heard good things about Black Flag, generally speaking.
I don't have issues with them as a game. I have issues with them as a yearly iteration and how little they're doing to change that up, and the fact that they were very cumbersome in control and flow. And I feel like this one is still the same Assassin's Creed, but they refine the controls and they refine the flow. Anyways, I do want to say that like this is by far the best mood I've been in since I've played an Assassin's Creed in years, so I do wonder if that's had some effect on it. Like
Assassin's Creed, it didn't make me miserable. Right next to my box.
No, I'm just saying, like, outside of Assassin's Creed, I'm in a better mood than I was like when I played Unity and Black Flag, and I wonder if like that like positive vibe has just seeped into the game, and now the game is giving it back.
No, I mean I think the game's still legitimately just not bad.
I think it's pretty good this year. How, Maxwell?
10 out of 10, right?
We have a lot to go. I do hope that a lot of that side stuff, like if you start hunting the music boxes game,
yeah,
I hope that pans out to be something cool. Because I love that in 2 when like you hunted the glyphs, and it ended up being pretty disappointing that you just got like this 5-second movie. But man, the lead up to that was really exciting. I thought I was going to get some huge revelation. So as long as the lead up's good, the payoff, whatever.
Positively reviewed by major outlets. I believe it was sitting at a 78 on Metacritic. 8s and 9s from all the major ones. Game Informer gave it a 9. IGN gave it a 8.3 or something. Polygon, Polygon gave it a positive review, right?
Did they?
You know it. Well, yeah, there's women in the game and they're treated well. So yeah.
Okay. Anyways, to divert us from that, let's talk about another game with cross-dressing, women, feminism. Zelda Triforce Heroes.
Yay.
I thought you were talking about Halo for some reason.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, well, there are some female Spartans, but I don't know about well, okay. Yeah. So
Zelda.
Max. Triforce Heroes.
Take it away.
I played a little bit of it, just maybe like honestly an hour or so of it. It's fun. It's kind of what I really expected from it, which is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. I wonder whether or not the game is going to continue like getting more and more creative with its puzzles, because I really like it does that thing like the typical Nintendo games do in terms of where they have puzzling components, where it's like it's really really cool, but then you start using the same mechanisms over and over again. So I'm just hopeful that there's more puzzling mechanics and like the ways that you stack your characters and like all that kind of stuff like continues to get more and more complex and doesn't just kind of do the same thing over and over again with a different layout. So that's my only concern with the game, but about an hour or so in, it's fun. It's another one of those kind of like smaller titles that is a cool experience and all, but I'm just hopeful that it kind of becomes bigger than what it initially has already offered.
What's it like playing it single player? Because me and Gabe played at E3 with 3 people, and I'm curious like how it works with just you by yourself. 2 AI controlled links, I assume.
Yeah, I mean essentially it's not like in that regard like I didn't have any issues. It didn't feel like it would be bad, but okay. I guess now that you bring it up, I could see how that could be a lot more fun. Just like via having other people involved, it could be just more fun in terms of like how even they showed it in the trailers. I remember just now where you could like throw your friends against the wall and like mess around that way. So I guess that component could probably add to the experience, and I do want to try that out at some point. Hopefully I can just find 2 more people that have the game, and try it out with. But
hey, there's 2 of us here.
Hey, I was gonna say, do we not exist to you?
Yeah, that was a joke. That's the whole point. That's why I did that awkward pause there.
I don't know. I think that's your public.
My public department. You can't even do it anymore.
I can't even say it anymore. It's how ridiculous it is.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I enjoyed it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's because like I didn't give it like enough time. It hasn't like blown me away in any way, but it's a fun kind of like, okay, I'm in a car ride or something like that type of game. Like
Sure.
I'm not going to go out of my way to sit there and like play that over the big titles. At least for me right now, that's not the case, but it could suck me in that way if I give it some more time. But
How do you feel about dressing up Link? That's what I'm most excited for.
I'm very, very excited. I'm so excited about dressing up. Like, that's one of my things. Like, I was just thinking, okay, if it has dressing up Link, 10 out of 10, would buy again.
Yeah.
What kind of outfits have you put on the Hero of Time?
I've not done any of that. Like, I've just been...
Link?
You're not doing it right then.
Yeah. I'm
Me and Gabe had, like, fist fights at E3 of, like, who gets to be Zelda Link?
Yeah. That's all I want.
You guys had a fist fight.
Yeah. That's when he demonstrated
over
his
that.
ferocious
Wow.
attack.
Oh yeah, his ferocious punch.
Yeah,
That's
how deep me and Zachary's love is. You know, sometimes little just arguments can turn into fistfights, but then right afterward we're hugging.
And like Max,
you're like Fight Club, huh? Like,
yeah,
you do that thing where you just beat the holy heck.
Hey,
I actually just watched that.
The rule?
Yeah, I know.
Did you forget the rule?
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny thing is, I just watched Fight Club for the very first time last night. So
I've
that's
never
why.
seen it.
Fantastic movie.
I gotta see it.
It's awesome.
I've
Yeah, you should
downloaded
see
it
it.
multiple
It's-
times and never
yeah.
watched it.
It's interesting. Kind of shocking how much it kind of talks about many components that are more prevalent in 2015 than when it came out, which is kind of interesting.
Well, now
Ahead
that
of
you
its
have
time.
a place of political power, you can make impact.
Well, of course, I'm gonna. Maybe I'll make Canada into Fight Club.
There you go.
Instead of soap, though,
It'll
you
be
can produce
brilliant.
milk bags.
Yeah, sure.
Better
So-
than what we have going on over here.
Did anyone else play it? I don't.
Yeah, my time has been super limited. I played it just a little bit, but like
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed and Halo have been taking up.
Yeah,
a
that's
big
what
chunk of
the
time.
same for me. It's like it's such a busy period right now, so it's like
I couldn't decide which 3DS to play it on, so I haven't yet.
Get 3DSs and
Great.
play it on all three at the same time.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you
Really?
can't do download mode, so I can just be like,
Yeah.
I'm everybody. I can be Zelda Link, I can be like Bunny Link, and I can be Link
Yeah.
Link. All right.
And that way, if you fail, you have no one to be angry with except your son.
Oh god, don't get me started on E3.
Oh.
Nothing against the mystery third player we were playing against.
Yeah,
It was a tough
playing
task.
with. It wasn't even against. It was
Yeah,
with.
we had a real hard time playing with this person.
Yeah, mystery person.
it's not me, guys. By the way, they're not implying
No,
that.
it's not,
That would be
it's
the
not.
most awkward thing ever. If they're just
It's really not.
talking smack in the most obvious way. So yeah.
Not-
So that being said, I guess we could move on to Halo. Right?
Yes.
Hey-
And we haven't played, well, I mean, we have played, but we haven't been able to talk about more of the single player. Instead, multiplayer launched in full last night.
I played a few hours of it just last night
Oh.
with one of Max's Canadian brethren.
Ooh.
We were playing against like professionals. We were playing against like one of the major MLG shoutcasters.
Team Canada.
For Halo. I forget.
Who did you
this
play
guy's-
with?
I play with Macca. He's another YouTuber.
Oh, okay.
But he knows some people over at Microsoft, and he used to be a Halo pro player back in like the Halo 2 days apparently, which I
Oh.
didn't know when I started playing with him. So we were playing against like godly people as far as like skill goes. Man, I would just spawn and die instantly.
Did you play
it was crazy.
Warzones or?
I played Arena mostly. I haven't played Warzone all that much. I like the Arena mode. I like the smaller one. I'm sure Warzone is going to be great when I play it. I just also the servers aren't fully up there yet. Not a lot of people have the game, so it's hard to find matches. So everybody's playing Arena, and that's what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, plus right now you're kind of like playing against a certain pool of players, so
Yeah.
that's the other kind of issue in terms of. I don't know how fair our evaluation of the multiplayer would be right now. You know what I mean? Because you're not
Yeah.
really playing with the general audience. You're not like. I don't know.
I can
I've
still
not
say-
tried it yet, but
I can still say it's my favorite. Like this is by far, and I said this last week. It's my favorite Halo like ever. And now playing the multiplayer for maybe 3 hours, I don't think that changes unless Warzone is terrible. But Zach's played Warzone and he says it's fantastic.
I think it's
so
the best multiplayer mode of the year. It combines everything Titanfall does with a tiny bit of MOBA spice added in. It's got that big battlefield feel as well as small-time encounters. You're buying new guns, new vehicles. You can fight NPC bosses. You can fight other Spartans. It's as long as the maps deliver, I think it'll be great. How have the maps been in Arena?
They've been good. I think we've played in two of them. The main one from the alpha where was like purple with
like the esports one.
Yeah, I played in that one. I played maybe like 4 or 5 more, so there's a decent amount of them.
Mm-hmm.
But the maps are specific to game modes,
right?
So the esports one, that's that esports map. It's not like you're playing other game modes in that. But I played Headhunter last night. I played one shot kill with the pistols only. There's different variation in the arena mode. So you go into the arena matchmaking thing, and you're not only playing that one esports type thing. It's not always one life and you're out. I'm sure that game mode is there, and when it pops up, I think it's a good change of pace. But there's plenty of game mode. Capture the flag is something I was enjoying. The capture the zones one. I don't know the name of it, but
can you specifically select Slayer and stuff, or is it just arena as a mode?
Yeah, right now it's just arena as a mode.
Weird.
You can go into custom matchmaking and decide what you want to play, but the player base isn't there.
Yeah, gotcha.
The game's not out. So that's the only thing. If it were up to me, I'd be playing just Slayer constantly, but it's not up to me.
And I can't speak on the other maps or whatnot for Warzone, but I can say, just to reiterate, like, I think Warzone shows their prowess as developers and really combines like what Titanfall did and little elements of a lot of multiplayer games in a much more polished fashion. I think there's some brilliant ideas there. For example, there's bases to capture, right? But not just bases that you run up to. Every base is initially populated with NPC enemies, not NPC soldiers that stand there and fire, but actual enemies from the single-player game, which is it's a good example of how they smartly handled every element. So you have to go in and clear the base out before you can just capture it. Your team is leveling up as a whole, a la like Heroes of the Storm, more than something else. So as your team levels up and progresses, you will have more rec points, as they're called, to unlock these requisition at the stations. You can get new weapons or in between spawns. Yeah. I do have a little bit of concern with that mode about coordinated teams are going to be so much more efficient, because if they develop patterns where it's like, okay, we know the map, we go take out this boss and get this many XP, and then we together take out this boss, and then we have these people go capture this base, I wonder if at a certain point you're going to have teams just steamrolling the competition.
But I think a coordinated team is better no matter what game mode you're playing.
I do just wonder here, because like there's so many options besides go kill everyone. Like, will there be patterns where it's like every time people go for this boss and then this boss and this boss?
I don't know. Maybe.
Either way, I think it's super fun.
The requisition stuff isn't fully in the game yet, just because I don't think it's up like that.
Okay.
You can unlock the packs and you can see what's inside the packs, but there's not anything you could do quite yet, as far as I can tell. So,
and that's all going to be cosmetic stuff, I believe. Do you know if there's any new weapons upgrade vehicle type stuff?
I've seen weapon stuff. I don't know specific. I don't know specifically what it does. I've seen weapon cards.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what they do. I'm told they're for Warzone, but I haven't played Warzone, and they said even if you go play Warzone, this stuff isn't quite working yet.
Gotcha. So. That card stuff is becoming a huge deal. I didn't even know that Rise of the Tomb Raider has cards in it, but same kind of thing where you can buy card packs and cards,
That's going to be interesting.
But if you want a game that doesn't even charge you for DLC, you got Battleborn. You can't buy anything. Just all in the game. All good.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that next week.
That's becoming a rare thing nowadays. I think that all started with the Ultimate Team stuff from FIFA.
I thought you were going to say the Ultimate Game Evolve, but all right.
No. That's not what he was going to say.
But I think that it's probably going to become more common than we even think. I bet you that's going to be kind of their way of doing like microtransactions, but make it fun. It's like, it's you collecting cards, guys. You're not buying stuff.
Halo is fun. So...
at least the game itself still offers a lot outside of that. And I'm sure that the multiplayer will be just fine even if you don't ever participate in that side of things.
Yeah. Okay, but here's one thing I want to throw your way, which is, okay, so everyone was really down on Halo 4. They're like, why does 343 have this? This is going to be crap. Yeah.
Where did this come from?
I wasn't down on it, but that's the thing.
I don't know why. I did not have anybody who was close to me who felt that way about that game, but I don't know. I guess people didn't like it.
They were down on it, and people were so hyped for Bungie to make Destiny. And obviously there's a very, very fervent Destiny fan base, and even I like Taken King. But I think from a straight-up game design thing, it's kind of weird to see 343 possibly like one up Bungie in terms of like straight up game design.
I don't know, because this is more traditional though. Like Destiny is doing things.
Yeah, but the encounters in Destiny are terrible compared to this.
What
The
do you mean?
encounters in you mean on
Like
a single player
You're talking about
side.
single player?
I'm talking about, yeah, like just compare the enemy encounters, the set pieces. Like Destiny is like just the overall like the game doc, the design doc for Destiny is like.
Well, I think they're dramatically different though. I don't think Destiny's not trying to do like this crazy story with characters and giant set pieces necessarily.
I mean, they did spend
Well,
quite a bit of money on the cutscenes and the characters. I mean,
Yeah,
regardless,
but
they
I
just
also
from like
feel like Destiny is like built around to host more players at once, and they have to account for you having a similar experience like as you walk through the map. Whereas this, like, you have a lot more control in Halo. Like, they can control the specific firefights that you get into more so than they can control in Destiny, because you could just zap past some
okay,
stuff.
that's
So-
fair.
Also, Halo is meant for you to play through the campaign, once or twice if you want to play on Legendary. Destiny, you're going to do it a couple of times.
Fair enough. I'll concede that to you totally.
couple
But
hundred times.
a couple thousand
Yeah.
times. Can we agree though that just from a straight up quality standpoint, like Destiny, regardless of its fan base, regardless of its value, is not at the same like up to snuff quality level that Halo 5 is.
I prefer Halo 5, but I don't know. It's a little disingenuous. Like,
Gabe, for
I
over a
think-
year
I
we talked about how
I
many
think-
crappy parts of Destiny there are, how much it was so like underwhelming, even though people played it and loved whatever. Like, how can you not make this
I
judgment?
think it's like, to me, this is like comparing a pizza to a burger type thing. Like, it's just so different.
But I'm
In
talking about
my
straight up
opinion.
quality. Don't even compare the games. Just like Bungie was known as like they make everything great, and then they made this game, and I don't know. All right, maybe it's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer
Bungie's
Halo
great
because
to a lot of
I
people.
like the more, like what I just said, I like the more controlled narrative, because I think it allows you as a storyteller, as a developer, to tell a more interesting story because you control more of the components. But Destiny is a different beast, so I think it's just targeting a different audience. And I think that, look, if we look at stuff like The Taken King, even you yourself said it, like, that brought a lot of people back to Destiny. And it's like they fixed a lot of things. They made it right, so to speak. Now, of course, it's still going to cost you money to go back and get that. But
Yeah, and that's an issue. I mean, I'll fully agree with you there. To get to the part of Destiny that I find to be great, you got to pay quite a bit of money, because you're buying the base game and then you're buying the Taken King.
Yeah.
So for $60, what's a better package? I say
But I'm
Halo
not
all
even
the way.
comparing the games. I'm just saying, like, from a straight up, like, hey, did we like make a very like top tier 10 out of 10 product? I'm not saying either game is a 10 out of 10, but just like,
the problem is that you always get into a weird thing of where, like, you can't objectify a game that much, because, like, you can get down to the bare bones of, okay, let's talk about the code. What do you guys think about the code of the games? Like you know what I mean? Like, look,
Okay,
are
well,
the cutscenes
here we
in
go.
both games fantastic? Yes. Is
Let's
the music
go-
in both games fantastic? Yes. Is the multiplayer in both games fantastic? Yes. Is the story in both games fantastic?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think the
That's-
multiplayer is fantastic in Destiny at all. I think that's a huge like
I think it is.
hardcore fan thing. Okay, well, here we go. Let's take ourselves out of the equation.
Okay.
The greater gaming review core has deemed Destiny a 76 on PlayStation 4, its lead platform on Metacritic. Do you think Halo 5 scores better than 76?
Check Taken King.
I'm asking you about Destiny.
I think so, yes. But
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I see. Then that's another little miscommunication we just had. When you're talking Destiny, I'm thinking Destiny now. I'm not thinking vanilla Destiny. That's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Do I
guess,
think
I guess
Halo
if Halo
5
5 had a full year of content to release and upgrade and improve and change the code,
Yeah,
like,
okay.
what would,
All right.
what would
Do
that
I-
be?
Do I think Halo 5 is better than vanilla Destiny? Yes, hands down,
All right,
absolutely.
that's all I was saying.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
way,
I'm not. But as
Taken
Destiny
King on
as it
PS4
stands
is an
now,
85.
huh?
Taken King on PS4 is an 85.
I think Halo would still be above
yeah.
that.
Yeah, but I think that's also an element of, like, exclusive titles typically do very well.
Because they're typically
Yeah.
made very well.
Because they're
think-
focused, they're more specific to what the product is. So
I think so much care went into this Halo game, so much, and it's obvious from the cutscenes to just a slight improvement in combat to just visually. This is a beautiful game, right? And
Yep.
not that the same can't be said about Destiny. I'm sure the Bungie people care very much about what's going on, but it's hard to focus on things like gameplay and story, when you're trying to make improvements on a game that are so vast, you're trying to turn public perception almost, because people, Destiny definitely has always had its like hardcore following,
right?
But people like me and Zach, like, we couldn't be bothered to spend 1,000 hours with Destiny as it stood. Now I play Destiny more often. I play Destiny 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah,
and I have a good time.
I think that game really comes down to getting a group of people that you can play with. Like, I think if you find your like Destiny group, that's it. Like, you're in. That game is. I think that there's a reason why if you talk to I'd probably say a good majority of the players that say Destiny is awesome, they'll argue that, and they'll make that point of the game starts when you finish the campaign. Or like only when you hit like level 30.
Which to me like instantly proves right there it's not a very good game. If you need people in to finish it to get to it.
But you see that the problem is, again, you get into a weird thing of like where, okay, do you need to... Like, I don't know. The problem is it's like for each person, it's always a different thing, right? Like, for you to have to play for 30 hours is a bad thing. For another person to be like, whatever, it was worth it because now I get to spend a whole bunch of hours with my buddies.
But it wasn't even 30 hours, though. It's not like...
Yeah, I know.
Like
I'm obviously exaggerating, especially with like the Taken King. You can get boosted to 25, then 3-4 hours later, you're probably at level 32 or something like that. So
it's quick.
Yeah. So there you go. But very different games, but...
Imagine if Halo took the best part of the raids and said, you have to level up in multiplayer before you can play single player.
And that's, another thing. Like, Destiny, like, is changing all the time. I think Halo is going to be what Halo is. Yes, there's going to be more maps or whatever, but that game isn't changing over time.
That's a good point.
Destiny is constantly changing.
Yeah.
Speaking of time, I spent some time with Just Cause 3.
Oh, here we go.
At my house, in this room, right here.
In this room. Wow.
And that chair? Is that the chair? Can you sign the chair and send it to me?
This is the chair I sat in.
Okay.
When the wonderful PR woman Kat from Square Enix came and brought Just Cause. She brought Rico and Just Cause. He was like,
she brought Rico.
Let me show you my stuff.
Is she about to get hit with the Rico?
I hope not. Can't be so friendly. She's from London, so I don't want her to get stuck over here. Anyways, played about 3 hours of Just Cause 3. No story stuff, open world. Saw the entire map. It's massive. Freaking insane.
Okay.
That game is very much what Just Cause 2 was, now expanded and with better graphics. So you're flying fighter jets, you're carpet bombing towns. My favorite moment, this is my Just Cause 3 moment. I tethered, and you'll see it in my video. There's now animals. There's goats, cows, and deer. And
that's it?
I think so. That's the only animals that exist in this world.
They have to have some sort of farming benefits, or else they're eliminated.
No cats, no dogs, no horses.
Nope.
There's birds.
Oh, all right. New species alert.
What are you gonna do with birds?
I don't know, but nothing.
What if you get your hook on a bird?
You can't hook
like
the birds.
not killing it, but just wrapping it
pulling
around
you up.
leg.
I bet you there's gonna be a PC mod where you can grapple hook onto birds, and you see like this tiny little bird carrying you. You're like, yeah. No.
But I did tether 4 cows to a fighter jet or a helicopter, one of the two, helicopter, and then I escorted them to the top of a mountain and airdropped them onto the mountain. It was very emotional.
So you essentially recreated what an eagle would do. That's how they hunt. That's how they do it. They push sheep down mountains and then they eat them.
You're a great American, Zachary. You're a great American.
Fly like an eagle. That's what I was going for. But there is some like undeniably cool stuff in there in terms of the destruction. Like I was just attaching C4 to this bridge and I blew up. And guess what? When you blow up a bridge, it's just blown up. So you can blow up all the bridges and landlock the NPCs if you want.
Question.
Yeah.
Did you play on PC or on console?
I played on PC.
Okay.
So it did look, extra pretty. But like I can't say it wasn't fun. I'm normally not a fan of open world games. I think what did it for me here is like in GTA you're running around doing kind of mundane stuff like fire at this, fire at that, but nothing's really happening. Here at least like you're making huge modification of the world, destroying stuff, giant satellite dishes that you're blowing up and taking down, and then that stays broken down. The bridges, like I said, they stay, and just a huge eclectic variety. One thing that I don't remember this being in Just Cause 2 is sort of these care package emergency drops. They're called beacons, where you can pick like a primary weapon, a sub weapon, a heavy weapon, and then a vehicle. I believe there might be one more thing I'm forgetting. I have a whole list of everything you've unlocked, and then you throw a beacon and it just drops in this big crate, and there's confetti everywhere, and then boom, it's there. So like you want like
awesome.
A rocket launcher, a machine gun, dual wheel pistols.
Are there going to be microtransactions for that?
No.
Thank God. Because you see, that sounds like a perfect, like, hey guys, why don't you only have 5 drops, but if you want to buy more beacons, give us $5.
Right. But you get these from taking over bases, so it's the ebb and flow of like, all right, I can call in whatever I want, but now I'm going to go take over another base. And that stuff was pretty fun. It's like obviously very repetitive in terms of like blow up stuff here, blow up stuff here. But the way it's done and the way it's handled and the way sort of the AI is working is pretty cool with choppers and fighter jets. There's just a nice ecosystem of variety. And again, like as it was known in Just Cause 2, it's the game where you want to go up above the clouds and like skydive down for 5 minutes. Like you can do that. I attached some people to a fighter jet, flew way up, and just dropped them and watched them fall into the ocean.
It seems to be a pattern, like a recurring thing with you, attaching people to aircraft and then dropping them.
Yeah. I mean, me and Gabe and you, Max, we had to talk about our hot air balloon punishment system at PAX.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
hot air balloon
Now it's
system.
possible.
What a brilliant conversation.
But
I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that game. That game is
okay,
just
thank God
mayhem.
that you said game, because I thought you were excited for that system.
Oh.
There's
Are we not doing that? I'm blowing up the hot air balloons right now. No, but for Just Cause, that game is just mayhem incarnate on a disc that you get to play. I'm excited for it, man.
I mean, that game I think is going to be mods galore, just like the second one was.
Oh yeah, there were so many things where she was like, I was like, can you do this? And she's like, not quite. And I was like, in my head, I was like, wait till the mods come, because like you'll sure be able to do
they'll
that.
Figure it all out, which is awesome. I love when like games do that.
They've added nitrous to almost everything. So you want a jet ski with nitrous, you want a car with nitrous, you want a helicopter with nitrous.
I was
gonna say, do the goats have nitrous?
No, but there is rocket
how
powered.
much do you want to bet there's going to be a mod to make a goat simulator?
There you go.
Probably
guaranteed.
There's tractors with nitrous. But
how
you
handy.
can't
farming at a speed of light.
you can't attach rocket powered C4 to like animals, so I'd put it on their butt and then activate it, and they just like go whoom and fly off the mountain.
Classic Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yeah.
Rocket power.
Oh, there we go.
Auto.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually remember. I even can hear the theme song in my head.
Yeah.
Wow, that is nostalgia.
Let us know in the comments below if you love rocket power as much as I
do. But like just some good moments where like I be like, okay, beacon, and then I'd be like, oh crap, I'm in the middle of a forest, and so I'd try to like take the biplane off in the forest, and I had one time where like it's not gonna make it. I clip a tree, I'm falling, I'm spinning, and somehow I like righted it at the last second and like took off, and I was like, I am the Gandhi of planes. Not sure how Gandhi has much to do with it, but I didn't want to say God. I thought that'd be too politically incorrect. So I was like, Gandhi.
Zachary. You could have said you're the god of planes, Zachary.
Okay, anyhow.
It would have been okay.
All right, just gotta be careful.
I don't think that would be offending. I don't know if that there's like
plane
a god
worshippers?
of planes at some point.
Air worshippers?
Yeah.
Why not? You've said worse things on the podcast.
Aviation.
No.
Yeah.
That you've said you're going to cut out, but you never do.
The gun play is pretty weak. There's a heavy amount of auto aim. You can turn it off. You can turn almost everything off. So, like, you can turn nitrous off. You could turn, like...
goats off?
No, but, like, you can turn all these... You get these gears, and gears allow you to unlock these mods. So, like, rocket-propelled C4 is a mod. They're very specific in their decapitation, though, because you can attach your tether or your C4 to different body parts. Like, you can put, like, C4 on the guy's face, on his neck, on his crotch, on his leg, and then, you know, mayhem happens accordingly. But like the actual,
I mean, it's like I think it's the personification of like a toy box game. They're just like, here's a whole bunch of tools, go do stuff. Like,
and I didn't get to play the story missions at all, so I have no idea how those work. I'm guessing.
But come on, just like Just Cause.
Yeah.
2. I mean, it's in the title of the game. Why would you do that? Just Cause. Why not? Like that's it. Like that's what the game is. It's as much as people will probably play the story. I think it's the game for just. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Go do fun things and come up with silly things to do. Go.
There's statues of military leaders you get to take down. You can specifically target. Like I tethered his fist to his face, and then I was like punching him in the face, which was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I pulled his head off.
And you could do that thing where you're like, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself.
Yeah. And then I pulled his head off and used it as cover. So I was like, yank that head down, then fight all the militia with his head as cover. I pulled off his nose once.
I wonder how much cover that could provide.
It was a big head, giant, like 100-foot statue.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of variety in the villages. There's like little kind of like more like, you know, small town thing, and then big cities with skyscrapers. The only complaint I really have, and again, it just comes part and parcel, I think, with the genre, is a lot of repetitiveness in terms of like, hey, you're in this town, and even though it's way bigger than the other town, still it's like destroy the radio tower, blow up the turbines, crush the electrical. You know, like again, you are you're going to need to use your entire arsenal and have that be sort of the joy, not the actual like cool mission you're doing or whatever, which is fun.
Just Cause sounds like a fun time.
Just Cause, December 1st, coming at
Yeah.
you. All right.
What? December 1st, is that a date?
Yes.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yep. December 1st, since they moved Hitman out of December. Just Cause is now in September.
Shame on them.
Yeah.
Shame on them.
They were telling me that they just got Hitman in the office, a build of the game. So
Nice.
Tell them to bring that one to me directly.
all right, I'll send them to Texas. Let's send ourselves.
Breaking news: Marcus Mariota will not play on Sunday.
Thanks.
For anyone that cares.
All right.
It's not breaking necessarily anymore, but you know.
Oh, well, is something broken? Is it breaking news because he broke something?
No, he didn't. I don't know. Just seeing Zach Mattenberger out there, it's weird.
Yeah.
That's all one person. Did you just name Matt, Zach, and Berger?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy, Matt Zackenberger. In our very abbreviated news segment today, Sony has stopped first-party development for the PlayStation Vita.
Wow.
Yeah, we have
Thoughts on
talking
that?
about it.
Are we shocked?
Do we care?
I mean, it was kind of obvious, I think, that it was going to happen. It's just unfortunate. It's such a good little system. It's like, but I don't think they did it all that many favors, like,
No.
as it is.
One thing me and Gabe talked about last week was that the Vita came out February of 2012, which is like forever ago. And so Nintendo's new handheld could technically be like ridiculously more powerful than that, technically.
You mean the NX?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
the new, like, whatever 3DS is going to be?
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's what the patents are, so it's...
And saying they're using industry-leading chips, like, I didn't realize the Vita's been out for 3.5 years, and by the time the NX comes out 4.5, like, that's a full generation or more in terms of handhelds. Anyways, Fallout 4 has gone gold.
Gone gold.
Yay.
Are we
10 out
excited?
of 10. 10
Everybody
out of 10.
strapping in?
I'm strapped. Pip-Boy editions went on sale again this morning, but then they sold out again.
How do they keep getting that Pip-Boy to show up again?
I don't
Like,
know.
we're all out of them. We found more. We're all out of them. We found more.
They're selling for like $250 on eBay.
Yeah,
I checked last night.
it's kinda
I got
crazy.
I was lucky enough to get an extra one. So if anybody wants one, hit me up.
And the last news bit of the day is Aonuma teases a surprise twist in Zelda U,
Oh.
which I think is soon to be Zelda NX, but that's okay.
That's a surprise twist.
Yeah.
That is the twist. They're like, hey guys, check it out. How much do you want to bet they come out at E3? It says Zelda Wii U and then their logo fizzles, and
Yeah.
instead of the Wii U, it's like NX. They're like, yeah. I hope every game they announce, they also go like this. That would
Yeah.
be perfect.
Reggie
like,
just
Mario
doing that constantly.
NX. Like they
Or
just
they
announce
just
everything
drop
like
the
that.
N because it's Nintendo, so it's just like
Yeah.
Mario
Yeah.
X, Zelda X.
And what did you say? Extreme with an X, like no E, just extreme.
All right.
Oh, okay. That'd be clever. That's like we're going back to the 90s. It'll be good marketing.
Yeah, Mario Extreme.
Yeah,
Have you
Zelda
played any Mario
Extreme.
X?
What about Mario Exposed?
I
don't
think
know,
that's probably going to be a mod. That's probably
That's
Yeah.
fan fiction.
All right. Moving to the lightning round.
the lightning round.
We've removed the lightning round theme song.
Wow.
That happened when
was
you were
too
gone.
long.
It was too
How
long.
disappointing.
Don't worry, music will come.
Gabe
back.
is working on his own listening to these
Oh,
tracks.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on stuff. Don't worry about
That's
it. It's cool.
awesome, bro. Gonna drop
Alright,
that
okay.
beat.
Today's lightning round
Yeah.
comes in from Angus.
Angus. Ooh.
And
Burgers? Angus steak?
Angus burger. I've had an Angus
from
burger
Canada. It's a Canadian
How's it
lightning
going, bud?
round.
before. All right, let's do
So-
this, eh?
Me and Gabe are gonna guess first, and then Max is gonna give us the answer because they're all questions about Canada.
Well,
What-
I don't know if I'll know them all, but
All right.
I'll try.
You gotta go.
Hopefully, me
Please
and Gabe
forgive
know them
me.
as well. What is the national sport of Canada? National
Hockey.
winter sport. Okay, hockey.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
got
it
that.
has to be hockey.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's correct. What is the national summer sport of Canada?
Football, as in soccer. I
Don't
know.
think so.
Or badminton.
He has given us answers here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Were we right with hockey?
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
then I should probably guess. Is there
Yeah.
a multiple choice option or no? Because
No.
Oh man.
I mean, this is just based on the world of Angus, but you are the prime minister, so you probably know
Yeah.
these things.
Well, but then again, I am the prime minister. I could just change it on
Yeah,
the
you'd
spot.
be like national summer sport ping pong.
Cricket. There we go. Done. The problem is, like, I don't know what that even means. Like, in terms of what would be does that mean like essentially what we play in the
Yeah.
summer?
Competitive swimming. Competitive swimming is my answer.
I don't know, maybe tennis.
He says lacrosse.
Really? I don't know anybody that plays lacrosse.
What?
I don't know one person. I know people that play tennis. I know people that I even know people that play ping pong.
Lacrosse is a clothing brand to me.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird one because I've never had it in my high school, or we like never got to play that. So I don't know.
Angus is teaching you something every day. All right, what are
learning new
freezies?
things. Okay,
freezies.
Yeah,
those sound like just like
what are freezies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know what that is.
It's I don't know, like syrup that's frozen of some kind, like milk, like like
not milk, not milk.
No, I wasn't gonna say milk. I'd say like mildly flavored syrup, like that's like fruit flavored, and you just put it in the freezer, and then you just eat it out of a bag. Like, you just,
it's like those like frozen water sticks that you throw in the freezer, and then
I was gonna say
it's
it sounds
frozen
like
juice.
A little clan of penguins that sing. Here's the freezies.
Yeah,
okay.
It's our next
right.
big hit. Like we have Drake, and then Justin Bieber, Drake, and then the Freezies. That's our. Oh no, Michael Bublé, and then the Freezies. That's our big hits.
They're Frieza's babies. The Freezies.
Okay, so he says popsicles is the answer. Yeah. What is the national food of Canada?
I wouldn't know. I can't.
National food of Canada. I should know this.
Like,
this is embarrassing.
Asparagus. I don't know.
Because you see, the thing is with this kind of questions is it's always not what like if you ask every Canadian, they'll be like poutine. Like that's what everybody would say. But I bet you it's not poutine. It's not maple syrup either because that's not a food. But those are the two things that I would say I would go to.
Poutine is what he says.
Oh, it is poutine?
That's his answer.
Thank God. Because I thought it would be like some silly answer like, mashed potatoes with a certain type of gravy or something ridiculous like that.
The final one, man, Canada.
You're excited.
We got that big energy. You see how Zach is enthusiastic about Canada.
What do we Canadians call soda?
Pop. I'm probably
Zach,
wrong, but I just
isn't Zach supposed to? Oh, Zach has all the answers.
Yeah,
Zach has the answers.
I mean, I call it pop as well, so I'm guessing that's what it is.
He should have asked, how do Canadians pronounce the last letter of the alphabet?
Who was also a Power Rangers bad guy?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Zach, do you know?
Oh, Zed? Like, don't they say that in England as well?
Probably.
Yeah, they say it everywhere except here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my name is Z-A-C-H?
No, I don't know. To me, it's just Z-E-D, like the Power Rangers. That's bad guy with the brain and the giant Z thing.
Yeah, if you're spelling it, that's what it would be like. But your name is still Zach. It doesn't change.
I know, but they say that Zed. Like, let's go to the Z-O-O. Whoa.
No. Okay, well, I did want to explain to you one thing. We don't, like, spell out the words. We don't, like, talk like I-A-M-G-O-I-N-G. Like, you don't talk awesome. Like that.
There needs to be a country that talks like that.
Yeah. You'd be the only resident by a little island.
All right. Emails.
I like the enthusiasm on that. Emails.
I love emails. And speaking of emails, if you have any more questions for the Tomb Raider dev, definitely send those our way with the subject line Tomb Raider. We actually got quite a few, like 30.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. By the way, guys, it was supposed to be this week, but there was a scheduling thing. We talked about
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did. That's okay,
dude. I'm in another.
You see,
zone,
watching all that football is causing you to have some.
Gabe, I currently have a concussion.
Gabe, we tried not to let you into your zone, but you kept going. You kept going.
I'm definitely in my zone.
I know you are. The first email comes from Oso.
The ozone.
And we get this question every week in multiple forms, so I'm going to finally ask it, and we're going to answer it, and then never answer it again. Hey, Zucchini Zach, Marshmallow Max, and Grapefruit Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted some advice. I want to start a YouTube gaming channel, but keep running into a problem. My friends say I have a really funny and laid-back personality, but I can't let that personality out when recording. I feel odd when I talk in the microphone. Do you guys have this problem? What do you do to get over it? What kind of advice do you have for YouTube? How long did it take? And we get so many questions about this. I thought we would just take a split second to address not what's successful on YouTube, but like starting YouTube. And I will speak last because I have the most negative. So
no, I have the most negative.
Okay, I'll go first.
Max.
I think that it's a matter of like there's no way that you're gonna start and be awesome at it. Like the only way you could do that is if you possibly like had a previous career in broadcasting or something like that. Naturally speaking, like you'll notice that whenever you put a camera in a room with typical people who are maybe even fun and entertaining, a lot of people kind of turn weird and it's like really strange because you kind of have to almost put up an act. So to me, I think it's just a matter of time. Like, you figure out how to kind of translate your personality to a microphone or to a camera or whatever. But additionally to that, you're going to not only need to translate your personality, you kind of have to like almost like enhance it and like kind of give it a little bit more fluff, because it has to be a bit bigger than life, so to speak, to encapsulate entertainment. So I would say just do it, and as you do it more and more, you'll kind of start to become more comfortable, and you'll be able to pull it off.
All right, and what I want to say does sound really negative, and I mean this in terms of only gaming. I don't think anyone should ever start a gaming channel on YouTube again. I think there's absolutely no point in doing it. Anything that you want to do gaming-wise, someone is already doing, and they're probably doing it better. As far as gaming, I'm not saying don't. If you are doing it for fun, by all means, go have fun. But, everybody goes into it expecting to make money or expecting a certain amount of success. Like, stuff like this, just don't go into it that way. And even if you do get the success, right? Even if you get some slight success, there's so much BS that comes with it.
But I know. Is that really the question? Because wasn't the question essentially how does he translate his personality?
No, he said tips for YouTube.
Okay.
Right? That's what Zach said.
Starting a gaming channel, running into problems. Yeah. So I guess it is more specifically, Max, what you addressed, and then I guess Gabe's handling.
I say just don't do it. More, honestly.
I think that's a silly. Because the problem with that is.
It's not silly, dude.
No, I know. But the problem with that argument is like any new channel that comes out and does tremendously well, if they looked at it that way, we would never get a different opinion or a different perspective. Because I think that for everything that is done, like I think, for example, one of the most under kind of used or underdeveloped components of the gaming subgenre, I mean, it's a huge genre. You don't have to just do Let's Plays or walkthroughs. I think that there's lots of room for stuff like the guys at Game Theory do. I think that stuff is exceptionally well done. Like, they do really, really cool, well thought out Vsauce styled videos. I think there's plenty of room to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but those guys are already doing that. You know what I mean?
But you don't have to do it the same way. And oftentimes, like, look, it's like saying, okay, Apple creates phones, so nobody else creates phones. It's like it doesn't make sense. It's like sometimes you can have a different product just via changing presentation, just like present it differently.
Sure. But let me continue a little bit, right? Because, all right, you start your YouTube channel. Let's say you do find a success and it's fantastic. Fine. There is a lot of headaches that come with it. And I'll speak for myself and no one else, right? Like, I've come to the realization in the past week or so, like, YouTube has almost ruined video games for me in a sense. And I've allowed it to happen, and it's unfortunate. But I don't have fun playing video games like I used to. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about Halo, and I said, man, there was a time when having the new Halo early, I would have given anything, and I would have finished it all in a day and a half just because I'm so excited for the product in general. But now, like, things that would otherwise be fun become a chore. And I'm sure we've all experienced it to slightly varying degrees. But I think it would be disingenuous to say, like, being unsuccessful on YouTube, although it's great and there's a lot of fantastic stuff that comes with it, but let's not just pretend like there's nothing negative to it, because there is.
Yeah, but I think that's any job ever, right?
Yeah, but I don't think certain people, I'm not saying this person in general, but I think there's a lot of people that don't expect that. I think a lot of people expect, I'm going to play games and I'm going to record it and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to get views and I'm going to get paid. Well,
I think it depends, but I think it also depends what you go into it with, and like what you said, if you go into it with the mindset of, I'm doing this so that I could make lots of money and become successful and blah, 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 then yes, you're more likely to fall into that pit hole, I think, of that becoming an issue. Does it become a case of, like, maybe because you have the luxury of playing so many games, you're just not as, like, blown away by them? Sure, I think that's the case for anything. Like, if you watch tons of movies, it takes a special movie to kind of, like, take you back, TV shows, books, comic, whatever, any medium of where you're consuming something. Same thing even in other job lines. Like, if you're doing accounting or marketing, if you're doing the same programs over and over again, it takes a special project to, like, bring up some more life in you. But I think that's more like your end than on the other end. Plus, I think that, let's not fool ourselves, I think that there has been quite a bit of cynicism in the video game industry, and some of it is very well warranted because of the way that a lot of practices are in the gaming industry. So I think it's kind of a mix of a lot of things that could affect you specifically and as to why you're like that. But generally speaking, even like if what you are is disappointed in games, then I hate to see who's like really disappointed in games, because you're generally still quite positive on gaming.
Yeah, no,
which is a good thing. I'm not saying that like as
I'm not disappointed in games. I'm disappointed in just the fact that the excitement, like the pure fan of it is gone. Because it becomes okay, and now I got to record all these videos, and not that that's not fun, because it is. And you made a good point. Like, this is me. This is my opinion. You could just throw it out the window, do whatever you want. Honestly,
this is your experience to each.
Yeah, have fun. I'm just saying, in my experience, YouTube has taken the magic out of video games for me. And again, that's just me. If I have a friend, right, that wants to like seriously invest money and time into doing this, and he asks me like straight up, like, hey, it's going to cost me X amount of dollars to buy a PC, a capture card, all these new games. And my goal, and if he tells me my goal is to become successful, and my honest advice to a friend would be just don't do it. It's not necessarily worth it.
I think you guys covered it super well. The only couple points I'll make are, one, it will take much more time than you initially think. So you have to have the discipline to say like, hey, if I really want to make a go of this, whether it's for fun, for a job, like, you're probably looking at 4, 6, 8 months before you see any real.
Probably longer than that these days, dude.
No, that would be a best. Like, that's if you have good content.
Yeah, I'm saying like at minimum of like even making headway. Like, you're gonna go the first few months of like single-digit views of videos, single-digit subscribers. Like, you have to expect that, and you have to have the confidence and the desire and the enjoyment to carry through. The other thing I'll say, and we can't tell this to anybody or decide this for anyone, they have to do it themselves, I think like when we speak about like, just don't do it, we're speaking about the person who's like, oh my God, I see people on the internet playing games, I want to play games and make money, versus the person who's like, hey, like, I really like am super into this, I have like a creative idea of how I want to convey it, I've got like a really like good voice, or I really like talking about games, or I'm really like in my friend group I always like take charge. Like, it takes a certain kind of person, I feel, to do that kind of thing, and we can't decide that for you. But if the thing is like, hey, I just want to record myself playing video games and like make $1 million, like, that is where it's like, yeah, like, probably not. But if it's like, hey, I love this, or I want to share the way I perceive games or some creative idea I have, then I think by all means go for it, with the knowledge that you may be the best person on YouTube and never be recognized or awarded for it. There is definitely not a meritocracy where it's like, hey, the best people rise to the top. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it is because you're good, sometimes it's a mix of both. But there's no guarantees. So as long as you know that and you're okay with
just like in any other job or career path that you're ever going to have. Some of the world's greatest scientists are never published. Some of the world's greatest writers are never published. Same thing. It's like it's
the only slight difference is with all those jobs, even if you're not like the greatest, you're still getting paid. So like, don't quit your job and try to become a full-time YouTuber.
Yes, but let's also be honest that nowadays, if you're making good content, you can find other paths of, like, look at the Kind of Funny guys. Like,
they came from IGN though.
No, I know, but
I
know, but what I'm trying to point out is that if you make good content, there's other pathways of monetizing it and making a living making that content.
Here's a question. Do you think the Kind of Funny people, which I love, I think they make fantastic content, by the way. Do you think they have the success that they do if they didn't come from IGN?
Well, not right away. It probably would take way longer. I don't know if they ever would at some point. I mean, that's like hypotheticals. Like, I don't know how to talk about that. But, I mean, it's obvious that they had a built-in audience, and they still took time to build up their channel before they jumped over. Yeah. But which is what I would say to anybody. I think it's very, very tough to think you can just drop everything and just go. I think you totally should look at it as at best, like a passive income at first, like just kind of like a side little thing. And that's like, just in the best scenario, that's what it will become pretty quickly. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of investment. And I think there's a reason why most people kind of start, then they realize how much work there is behind the scenes, and they drop it, because there is a lot of stuff that goes into it. It's not just the finished thing that you get to experience once you see it. So,
and I don't mean to sound super negative, but there's certain realities that people just don't speak about. Like, people don't speak about the frustrations that come with search results, or the lack of, and how important it is, because it's very important, and how important
again,
it is to
depending on what kind of channel you are.
Yeah, well, no, any channel needs search results to appear. It doesn't matter.
Sure, but the thing is, it's like nowadays suggested videos higher percentages. Like there's other way. Like if you even look in most analytics and such, and I don't know how much we want to get into this because this might become like boring and too in depth, or maybe for some people they love it, but that's not your main mechanism anymore.
No, it's not your main mechanism, right? But let's say you have 0 subs and nobody in the world knows who Blitzwinger is, right? And it's right now, not a few years ago when you started your channel. What's going to differentiate the new channel starting right now? Gamer X, let's say, like, what's going to differentiate Gamer X 1 subscriber's Assassin's Creed video from everybody else's Assassin's Creed video?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, if you feel like you have a different perspective to share, if you can find, like, a different way to present it, you know what I mean?
Yes,
so,
but
like,
how do they find it? If it doesn't appear on search results, how does anyone even find the video at all?
I mean, look, in terms of like talking about algorithm, if I knew how to explain the Google algorithm, I'd be a billionaire.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like,
so
that's a reality.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying search is not important, but I also think that there's other ways of getting your content out there. There's other ways to, like, we're living in the day and age where there is like no excuse of like, if you want to get your stuff out there, there's always a way to get it out there. And there's ways you can look at stuff, you know, you could look at how to optimize your thumbnail. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into the other end, and if you do that legwork, you can increase your chances of having a success. Like, I will never ever tell anybody to not do it, even if their idea is just as simple as, I just want to play video games. It's like, great, go ahead and do it. Like, if you can do it in some way, or like you talk funny, or you present a different speech pattern, whatever it is, something captures people's attention and you take off, great. Like, I think that that's the great thing about YouTube, is that it is kind of, in many aspects, still the Wild West. You know, it's like some things can just take off you would never expect that they would. So,
and I think eventually this problem is going to work itself out. And as we've seen, like 3, 4, 5 years ago, starting a channel, you had a lot bigger chance. And I think as time goes on, and this is again getting super like industry focused, but like with the limited amount of ads and the more new channels and the more small to mid-range channels, they will almost eat each other to the point where like there's not enough to go around, and then the top channels or the big subscriber channels will continue to grow, and the gap will become wider to the point where the bottom just falls out and those people aren't making anything anymore.
In the traditional sense, yes. But there's lots of tiny channels nowadays that are making, like, you know, way better money through Patreon or something like that. Yeah, and they get 4,000 to 3,000 views, but they make $3,000 to $4,000 a month, which is more than enough to make a living.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, if you're crafty and creative, you can probably do anything.
Yeah, and one last thing I wanted to say. I think if you ask me this a month from now, right, I have a different answer. I think if you asked me this a month ago, I have a vastly different answer. Right? You know, my like harsh negativity on it right now is just based off of how I feel about YouTube right now.
And it'd be interesting to see how that YouTube Red thing, you know, the subscription service, if that has any impact on anybody. Or
yeah, I mean, I was just having a long conversation with someone about that. Someone that's like pretty like in the know about these things, and you know, apparently it's a positive thing.
We'll see.
I think it's positive for the bigger channels. Again, I think that's
I'm not even sure about that.
Well, when you're PewDiePie and you have your own show on it and they're paying you for that.
No, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Again, we don't know. The biggest issue is my problem ever about these types of decisions being made at this scale is lack of communication. The fact that these types of things can drop and then it's silenced, that's the worst possible thing you could do for your both YouTube and everybody who's using it. It's
how
like,
hard would it be for them to make a video explaining this?
I know, because the issue that you start having is that look at the reaction now. Some content creators are outraged. Some love it. Some users are blown away. Like, there's people who think that YouTube is going paid. And that's the only way you're going to access videos from now on.
We got that tweet, Max. We got that tweet from that one guy.
Yeah,
exactly. He's a YouTuber, and he's spreading misinformation. And I don't mean this in a bad way.
Yeah, it's not. And that, honestly, I tried to explain it to him. You saw, but he didn't. Yeah. Like, he didn't get it. Still, it's like I tried to explain how it works on both ends, but we'll see how it works. The biggest interesting thing, I think, is going to be the way that this is the ripple effect of Red on the traditional model. Because if you're an advertiser, how positive are you going to be to go to a platform where they have a product that incentivizes you to avoid ads? That's where we'll see how
it'll
it
be
works.
so minimal. I think the impact's going to be actually super small.
We'll see.
But outside of that, just the miscommunication that is out there with this whole Red thing. Like we said, and not to call that person out, but we all we don't know him, but we all know him sort of. And he said, "Oh, if you're a content creator and you're not paying the $10 a month, they're gonna take all your videos down." And that is not the case at all.
No.
The only thing that you have to do is accept that.
Your videos are approved for that program. That's what you must accept. That's the only component.
And it's a terms of service thing. That's all you have to do. Accept a new terms of service, basically.
It's not going to change anything from a creation standpoint.
Yeah, I don't know when it's happening. It hasn't happened yet. The new terms of service aren't up. We haven't had to do anything ourselves.
No, they've already been accepted. If you're managed by a network, they auto accepted it already for you.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. See, because here, that's what I was worried. I was like, hey, I haven't gotten any update asking me, like, hey, do you accept this? So
there was people that got the stuff back in August and, like, July.
Oh, yeah, see, if it happened, then I don't know.
I think the only thing that's going to be interesting is if they allow us to make gated content.
I don't think they do.
I thought that was part of it.
Is it? I don't know. Like I said, there's a big miscommunication about what this is in general.
I think that's going to be a very weird thing. I mean, technically, you can do gated content right now. You just put it on a rental fee or whatever you do, but or you put it on Patreon, whatever. I don't know.
Marketing.
That kind of stuff is like it's.
Yeah,
it's
we
weird
can move on from this, I guess. There's more emails.
Your audience. Yeah, so there you go. For those of you that wanted a little bit of a YouTube boot camp, hope you enjoyed. For those of you that didn't, I apologize.
All right, let's move on to something totally opposite. Dear Kylo Ren, Han Solo, and Jar Jar Binks. I'll let you guys decide who's who.
No, Max, I will fight you for Kylo. I will hug fight you.
So I'm assuming I'm Jar Jar. I can't see. Great. All right. I've watched the new Star Wars
Have you heard about the theory? He is Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, that's great. This is.
I'm glad someone is bringing this up. By the way, because I was going to if no one.
This is from Fabio, and he says that he saw the Star Wars trailer halftime Monday Night Football. He's watched it a bunch of times since. The movie looks flippin' awesome. Super excited to see it and pre-purchase tickets. What are you guys looking most forward to in Episode 7? And do you have any theories on plot points or anything interesting like that? Also, will you be seeing it in 2D or 3D? May the Force be with you, Fabio.
Can I just predict what Zach is going to say?
Okay.
So Zach is excited. Now, it's going to start like this. I think it looks great. It's so incredible. But to be honest, I really hate this whole theory of where when it's a franchise, everybody's just like thinking it's going to be amazing right away. Like, why is everybody so excited? Like, if it wasn't Star Wars, nobody would care. But then look, because
if this was Space Movie X, crazy. No one would care. Yeah.
I was going to say that, be prepared. Like, people thought Episode 1 was going to be amazing. They did. There was a huge hype behind that.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll be the case here, but yeah.
I think this is.
Have you guys heard the numbers? Monster. Like the box office estimates?
$600 million.
They're expected to make $600 million. Do you even understand what that is? Like, that's like a once, probably in a lifetime type success in terms of box office. Like, that's insane. That is going to be crazy numbers.
We'll get into our thoughts about the trailer in a little bit, but first I want to ask you guys. All right, so I'm assuming Max wasn't watching Monday Night Football.
No, I wasn't, but I watched the trailer.
Yes.
All right, so you watched the trailer right away.
Of course.
Did you guys pre-purchase tickets?
Yes.
Already?
I did, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It was really easy. In Canada, they weren't sold out. It was like no big deal.
Because they went up a little bit earlier than they should have in the United States. Like Fandango had them up a couple hours early.
You got them before the crash.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to get mine before the crash, but I said, man, like, what if there's like some kerfuffle? I better go get some extra tickets. Getting the extra tickets was where I was right in the middle of the crash. I couldn't get a single ticket.
The thing that made me frustrated was I spent over an hour getting my first set of tickets, and then I waited a couple hours, and then the sites were like totally normal, and you could still get like I didn't have issue getting more tickets, and I wish I would have just waited and not.
Well, did you have issue getting a ticket for the early showings?
That is my moment of diversion, I guess. I decided I was not where I diverted from the main crowd. I decided I was not going to go on a Thursday night, but go on Friday night instead.
Then you have zero issue.
I didn't want to mess with the maniacs.
Yeah, see, I very much want to be.
I think it's going to be so special to see it with the people that love that franchise the most, because I think it's just going to be that cool kind of moment of like that energy. It's going to be like different than just seeing it with the general public, so to speak.
People are selling tickets on eBay for $10,000. Have you seen this?
Have you seen? Yeah, there's tickets for the Chinese theater. Like, if you want to go to the premiere there, I think it was like $2,500 for like not great tickets. That's insane. That's a movie ticket. Has that ever happened with any other film ever?
It's so insane.
I got I got reserve seats, so I can just walk in, not have to line up.
That's the same here. So that's cool. Awesome.
So what are your theories? Or give me one theory prediction.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out.
Okay, go
I want
ahead.
to give a shout out to Collider Jedi Council. They do a really, really cool show weekly where they talk about just like Star Wars news and stuff like that. It's really, really fun. So if you want to check it out, that's a good show to follow. And they talk about a whole bunch of theories, like, of whether or not Rey is obviously like the daughter of Han and Leia, or is she Luke's daughter? Like, there's all these other components. Is she and Kylo siblings? There's all these different things. The problem is I'm trying to avoid anything that spoilery, because I feel like in our culture today is like sometimes we find out too much information about movies, and then we go in and there's nothing more exciting, because you're kind of like, oh, okay, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Oh, okay, that's obvious. Like, so I'm trying to almost like avoid anything that is starting to sound a little bit too spoilery.
I don't know. The big one for me is the Luke thing, and I guess, I mean, if we want to really, really avoid stuff like that, I won't.
Of what? Him being in the film or him dying?
No, neither. Well, he's in the film. Like, there's no dispute about that. I'm not talking about him dying. I'm talking about him being a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
I think that could be so interesting, and I don't think I
Do
would be.
Do you really
like,
think that he is Kylo Ren? That rumor?
No.
No,
That's not what I think. But I think maybe Kylo gets him on the side. Finishes.
Wouldn't that be the other way around? You think?
What? Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But Kylo's saying that he's going to finish Vader's work, and what did Vader really want other than to get Luke on over to the dark side? I think Luke turning to the dark side could be interesting. That's the one thing I hope is real.
I'm curious how much involvement the past characters have. I think the way they've set it up, people are believing like they're going to be main characters, but I wouldn't doubt if it's just like a.
No, I hope
Han is a main character. Like that. There's.
Do we all feel like he's gonna go in this?
Maybe.
One? I think so.
I hope Luke kills him.
I had this argument on Twitter, but like, I think Luke is one of, if not the worst character in the whole series. So I could care less what happens to him.
That's so crazy.
I never liked him. I think he's so lame, and like Mark Hamill's portrayal of him, I feel is so like wimpy and weird. I don't know. I hope he's different.
I've never in my life heard this being said.
I mean, I think that it's also an issue of the times. You know what I mean? Like, he was portraying the typical hero back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, we want our heroes to be like rugged and like they're kind of always in the gray zone. They're not pure. They're kind of like always have this dark side.
I like
to
this
them.
voice, Max. Can you do this voice?
Yo,
for the podcast?
here we go. Let's do this. So that's just kind of a thing. I think he was like your typical kind of hero. So.
One thing I will say, because they made this they made the mistake with the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
I hope that they don't kill Kylo Ren off like in this first movie, or wait, was it?
You're talking about Darth Maul dying?
Like,
Darth Maul?
Yeah, Darth Maul like being in one movie only. I think that was a mistake. I hope Kylo is like a force for like the trilogy, and he's like the main antagonist.
I'm so curious how this like young dude with flowing black hair is the main bad guy of the Star Wars universe.
Dude, I think Adam Driver can deliver, man. The stuff I've seen him in certain things. I think he's great.
Well, plus he has one of the coolest names ever, Adam Driver.
Yeah.
He sounds like a Power Ranger.
Yeah,
I am curious, and I heard people talking about this of like in the trailer, they're like the Force, Jedi. Like, how come no one's educated about Jedi? Like, there was tons of them in the prequel trilogy, and that's not even that far removed from this trilogy in terms of timeline. Why are they so surprised about the Force and Jedi? Like it. Is it like hidden away every time they die?
It was a myth. Like to people, this is like all like a myth.
But
like,
it's not that far.
Seen
episode 1 time in the timeline to episode 7 isn't that much. It's not that long.
Yeah, but like the actual amount of people
it's like
isn't like 100 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think.
But we know about things hundreds of years ago, and we don't think they're myths.
Maybe they don't have history books. Maybe they don't have the internet.
Space is like screw school.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
But like I don't think Jedis were ever like this like big.
They had that massive city, and they're all there in the council. There's hundreds of them.
But I think they're also implying the whole idea with this film, like with the trailers, that they almost like the Jedi, like the whole idea of the Force has gone into hiding, and like this whole notion is like almost like frowned upon, and then now it's almost like starting to unravel and show itself again. So. That's kind of where we pick the story back up.
All right, let's make one prediction. Can we make one prediction
think of really quickly, just to your point. Think of the Dark Knight, the last movie, what's it called? Is it Rises?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the Dark Knight Rises, right? Like Batman went away for just a little while, a few years. I don't remember the specific time, right? But there was that one boy that was talking to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. He said, do you think he's real? Like,
I guess
even
people in these make-believe cities are just dumb.
Well,
Even
you also do have to think about it, Zach. This is it's galaxies. Like these are
humongous.
Yeah,
like
but
imagine
we're
like you
not
can't
going to different planets. I mean, most of the
yeah, no,
planets
but
are the
imagine
same.
when we try to deliver a piece of information like across a country. You know, the whole notion of a broken telephone.
You don't
Imagine
think they
across
have, like,
galaxies.
Interstellar Twitter. Like, dang, those Jedi are cool.
No, but I'm just saying. So, like, if people can say, like,
All right.
"Oh, is Batman real?" After a few
Boba Fett
years
has
of
like
just being
70
away?
million followers.
But Batman wasn't like a political entity that ran the whole freaking thing. Anyways, okay, prediction. One prediction each. Can be small, big, whatever.
Han
you want.
dies.
All right, Gabe.
Luke is evil.
Okay, and mine is
Jar Jar Binks, Kylo Ren.
You've seen Kylo Ren without his helmet on.
Well, he could have a wig. Maybe.
Hey, what if Jar Jar really is in the Night of Rens? You see that shot in the trailer
Yeah.
where like Kylo's there with all his minions. What if one of them is just Jar Jar?
My prediction is that there's a new color lightsaber.
That could be cool.
Okay.
I mean, what does it represent though?
I don't care. What does the green represent?
Here, there's a chart actually.
Oh, God.
You want me to tell you?
You can pull up the chart while I ask the next question. Thank you
Go
for
ahead.
bringing up Star Wars. So the next question is from Jamie, and he wants to know if we remember the exact moment when we first played video games. What system, what game, and where were we?
Yeah, I played a knockoff Nintendo Entertainment System, like a Russian Nintendo Entertainment System,
Yeah.
because the real ones that like you either couldn't get them because like they wouldn't import them, like that was illegal, right? Or if you could find one, it was like it cost more than like a couple of cars. So
Gosh.
yeah, so I had like this knockoff version, and the first 2 games I remember that like tank game where you would like drive around the map and then you'd fire like little pixels. Tank game. I don't remember what it was called. I just always called it a tank game. And then it was Duck Hunt as well. And those were the
Knockoff
2
Duck
games.
Hunt?
Yeah, it was like the gun was like it was like black and red, like weird colors, not the traditional. That's why when I came here and I saw like all the actual Nintendo stuff, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was playing. And I realized that whole time I was playing like all knockoff stuff.
Mine was NES. I played the Mario Bros. Duck Hunt dual cartridge at my grandparents' house with my uncle.
That was mine too, but not with my grandparents and uncle. But that was also my first game.
Cool.
Well, look at
back
us.
To lightsaber.
We
back
can
to
go duck
lightsabers.
hunting.
Yeah, we should go duck hunting in real life in Texas. Just shoot some ducks.
I don't know.
No, don't kill ducks, guys. Don't kill anything. All right, so the green one. The mood is peace through force when necessary. So the green one is basically peace.
Peace through force.
Yeah,
That's
peace
great.
through force.
All right, so the red one
is that really what it is? Peace through force.
Yes.
That's
says
so
look here.
hypocritical.
No, let me
That's
let me
such a
read you this. Right?
hypocritical statement.
All right, so it says peace through force when necessary. Who uses it? Jedi consulators who prefer negotiation and meditation to combat, but have strong force abilities. Typical.
What are
characters
Jedi?
Luke. I said I meant
When
Jedi.
Jaden Smith becomes a Jedi. He's a Jedi.
The font is super.
You got
The font
these
is super
Jedi
small.
over here.
Let me get through this really quickly. The font is really small.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. All right, so
Yeah,
the red
I hope
one.
so, because it sounds like you're reading like some different language. It looks like you're translating it first.
All right, so the red one is evil and power. Who uses it? Sith and Dark Jedi. These sabers are powered by synthetic crystals. Typical characters: Darth Vader, Darth Sidious, Darth Maul, and Kylo Ren. The blue one, justice and protection. Who uses it? Jedi Guardians who fight the. The font is so small. Hold on, let me move the mic. Jedi Guardians who fight for the light side and skilled lightsaber warriors. Typical characters: Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. Bleh.
What about purple? Black people?
It's not on the chart.
I hope we get that. Would be cool. It'd be cool if we got a different
What
color.
color could it be,
What
though?
color would you want?
Yellow, like a golden one? Like, I'm a heart of gold.
There's already
Is that
yellow
how the
lightsabers.
character's going to talk? I'm a heart of gold.
That's Ray.
I don't think she
Okay,
talks
how
to that.
about black lightsaber? Like
That could be
Kylo, like he's like red and he gets like super pissed off, so it's just like, and it goes black.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay,
neat.
do
I'd
they
love to see that.
can like a Sith be like I like blue, I want to use blue, or is that just not allowed?
I don't know. You'd have to go ask a Sith Lord.
Is there an Emperor in this one? Or we don't know.
I'm sure there's.
Well,
an
there's
Emperor
General
sometime.
Hux, but I don't think he's going to be Emperor. Well, maybe, I don't know. But there is General Hux.
Maybe
so.
Luke's the Emperor. I'll hit you with my metal arm.
There has to be a reason why they just refuse to show Luke on any
I think because
promotional
they
material.
want people to go to the movie to see him.
Well, yeah. Plus, he's going to be probably in. I have a feeling like he's going to be in it either at the very end or like somewhere like for just a couple of moments. Like I doubt he has a major role. I bet you his screen time is less than 5 minutes as a whole.
All right, over under.
I don't know about all that. Have you guys? Sorry. Have you guys seen the old interviews that are popping up when Mark Hamill is talking about the conversations he had with George back in the day, and he even told this to J.J. Abrams on a roundtable with Kevin Smith that they did like 10 years ago or whatever. They were doing like this like show, and they were talking about Star Wars. And Mark Hamill was talking about how George had this idea that Luke would eventually turn evil, and that's where the story was going to go. And J.J. Abrams was sitting there, and at the time, there's
He was like 10 years old.
Abrams. So they're saying like, what if that conversation with Kevin Smith,
that would
like
be
inspired the like that's so
right,
crazy.
I mean, it would
under-
be kind of an interesting like notion to just discuss it in terms of like no matter what, you always go back to the dark side.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna go there, bro.
Over under on how many Jawas in the movie?
I don't know.
500.
Wait, how could you put an over under on how many? Wouldn't you say like
Yeah.
a number and then you give an over under?
No, the over under would be the number. Like you can then bet over or under that number.
Oh, okay. I
I'm
always
gonna say
thought that
500. Massive Jawa escape scene.
it's gonna be very difficult to count. Like in the theater, as you sit down, you warn everybody. Any Jawa that pops
we
up,
have to count
you're
them out
responsible
loud.
for
Yeah.
counting. Yeah, that'd be
All
good.
right.
I have
don't
a
know.
quick question for Max
What?
because Max is a little. I'm not like crazy into Star Wars. I'm
I'm
saying
not
Max is.
crazy either. Like it's just
All right.
what I do find interesting though is like it's one of those few franchises that you could see like our generation and probably one beyond that is like look at the way we discuss it. Everybody like even if you don't particularly care, you still like, hey, but what about this and what about that?
All right,
And what
so
about
so
this?
so in the comic, right, when they revealed that Han had a second person that he had a baby with someone.
Okay.
She's a black female.
Yes.
Right.
So
Is
you
that
think it's Finn?
Huh?
You think it's Finn?
That's what I'm asking. Do you think it is?
It could be.
Is it?
They're both his kids. Your step brothers.
Well, it'd be kind of taking the obvious twist from last time, right? Where Luke and Leia. So
What if it's just a total recreation? It's like your
it's a
siblings.
remake. It's a remake.
They
the
like
whole
fall
time.
in love, and like then like their dad is the evil guy, and blah blah. Like it's just all like the same
How
story.
bad?
It's like,
By the
it's
way,
like
how
Zelda.
bad would this? I just realized something. How bad is this? If Luke is Kylo Ren, like let's say in a crazy world he ends up being him, right?
Yeah,
How
which I think we can confirm it's not. But okay.
Yeah, but how funny would it be for Adam Driver? Imagine the guy just got hired to just pretend like he's playing somebody in the movie the whole time, and then he's just like, "Great, guys. All right, thanks a lot for having me."
All right,
No,
next email. This is a third and maybe final update from John, not because he's going away, but it seems like the story has come to a close. Hello, Can't Stop Playing crew. I'm John, if you remember correctly. I'm the one who was forced into the friend zone, started the relationship email trying your podcast, and asked my crush to Homecoming after she put me in the friend zone, and she said yes. I'm here to tell you the amazing news, which is that Homecoming went fantastic with her. I thought she would ditch me, but she didn't. We went to dinner with a group of friends beforehand and had lots of laughs. At the dance, we had tons of fun. We hung out most of the night. We danced to 2 slow dances, which is the highlight of my night. And then it gets really, really dreamy. We would look into each
Quick
other's...
question.
Are you crying,
Quick
Zach?
question. Quick. He's getting choked up.
Yeah.
So while you get yourself together, why would you go to Homecoming with someone you think is going to ditch you? But that's the only thing.
We would look into each other's eyes for a long time, then look away, then back again. To be completely honest, her eyes are so pretty that I got lost in them. Her friends tried to pull her away from me, but she tried to keep her hand in mine for as long as possible. After the dance, I took her home, and that was that. I think she likes me, but I am not sure. Just thought I would keep you updated on what happened. Keep up the great work in the podcast, and good luck playing all the fall games, John.
All right, John. Thank you for the update. It's a fantastic update. I'm glad things worked out for you. Right. I hope we don't get an update saying that she left you. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, and I'm glad you had a good time at Homecoming. Zach doesn't seem like
Zach was tearing up.
I was trying to hide it with a yawn.
yeah.
All right, this one's from Liam, and he wants to know...
The Liam or just Liam?
The Liam.
Oh, okay.
Dear Zach and the other guys. Oh, burn. He says,
Wow. I like how I didn't even pay attention, but you had to go and bring some heat. Okay.
he says, probably the most important question of all time. Do you like Noble Six, Agent Locke, or Master Chief the best?
The other guys.
I like Locke a lot.
I like the other guys that you didn't mention.
Okay.
Which other guys? Oh, okay.
The other guys like you and Max and Gabe. Okay.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Woo,
yeah,
right.
I'm on team other guys as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
And P.S. Max looks like Martinez from The Martian.
Who's that? Who's?
That's not true.
I don't think so at all, but all right.
That's not true at all. Okay.
I want to see who.
He's also in Ant-Man. He's his friend in Ant-Man, the Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
Michael Pena.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Sounds good. I don't know how somebody would get that, but okay.
I don't think he looked like him at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it, but sure, whatever.
And
I've gotten the weirdest things ever before, but I don't care. I guess it's just weird.
Yeah.
You've gotten Kylo Ren.
No.
Donald Duck.
You look like Adam Driver.
No, I
Not really.
I don't.
But
yeah. Thanks for throwing that one out there too. You look like Adam Driver. No, actually, now that I actually look at you, no, you don't.
The final email of the day comes from Raymond. Dear Can't Stop Playing crew. Hi, guys. Hope you're having a great show. Are we?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
My question is, if you guys ever got the chance to make a game, what kind of game genre would it fall under? FPS? RPG? Survival horror? For me, I'd like to make a stylized FPS, open-world sandbox with lots of color and flair. Kind of a game smoothie of Just Cause, Crackdown, GTA Vice City, Far Cry, Fallout, and Sunset Overdrive. Holy cow.
Wow.
All right, so game genre that you would make.
I probably I'd probably want to do like some sort of action adventure game, like in the style of like Shadow of Mordor or Batman, something like that, third person, that kind of thing. That's focused on story.
All right.
Yeah. Mine would also be third person, but
I think Gabe would make like a Pokemon, but Madden.
I think you're going to say make a porn game for a second. I was like,
no.
whoa.
He would make like a
public
Pokemon
persona,
game,
private persona.
but he would capture Madden players.
No, I would.
So it's like enslaving the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's essentially.
Equally
let's
dark?
Get theoretic and, huh?
Equally dark to my suggestion, but all right.
Yeah. No, I would make a story-based game that I guess what you would compare it closest to would be something Telltale makes. I would want to make like something like really dark because I don't think there's enough like super dark and serious stories in video games. And I would make some.
The world's too kind. We gotta sully those waters.
No, it's just a story. Hopefully the world can stay kind, but it's just a story.
Like,
There's something wrong with it.
Like what?
I'm thinking like I want a Breaking Bad, not a Breaking Bad video game, but the equivalent
Isn't
of what
that
Breaking
like
Bad
most
is.
Telltale titles?
Nah, not really.
Oh no. Okay.
Gabe wants more darkness.
Yeah, I like more darkness. Like I want
Drugs.
some messed up.
Deceit.
Yeah.
Death.
Yes. The S.
You see,
word.
I told you he wanted to make some sort of weird like Pokemon NFL game.
Oh my.
Yeah, I would make something like
He'd make like an underground league happen. Like suddenly all the NFL players are disappearing. Nobody knows why. And then they find out that
squad has to step up.
underground he's building this new NFL league where you have to
Castle
draft
becomes an
players
elite quarterback in
and
the NFL. Matt Castle is playing Zachary.
Okay.
How
Who?
crazy
For who?
is that? For Dallas.
Oh, that's right.
How crazy is that?
Mine would be a third-person, story-driven shooter, a la BioShock, Alan Wake, with upgrades and a mentally either a main character who is either mentally insane or is dosed with like hallucinogens and stuff. Because I'd like a lot of like world-bending, mind-bending stuff.
There's not a lot of video games where.
Sorry, go ahead, Gabe. My bad.
No, it's okay. There's not a lot of video games where you like play as the bad guy. I want to play as the bad guy.
And it would be like a suspense mystery kind of game because I don't feel like that's a.
I think.
Can you guys think of any where you like the character
Overlord? I mean, some people make the argument that you kind of play the bad guy in Last of Us, like Joel is somewhat.
But even then, we have trouble thinking of anything.
Yeah,
and the ones we do think about are.
But then I don't think they're ever going to make a story where you're the bad guy, purely the bad guy. I think there's always...
Fun,
it could be, but don't you feel like people are not interested in, like, you want to redeem yourself, or you want to have some redeeming quality to you at the end? Yeah, I don't.
Not for my video game.
I think, when Zach mentioned the mind bending and stuff, I think it'd be incredible if Marvel hired like a really, really good team to make a Doctor Strange game. Because then you could do all that cool stuff with like all like trippy and unique visuals, and like you could do a whole bunch of really, really neat stuff with that. That'd be really cool.
Infamous, you can be decently evil.
No, I want to be like straight up evil. I want the opposing people to be
You're
good guys.
You're technically a bad guy in GTA.
Yeah.
Like in some of the GTA games. I mean, you're a thief, you're a robber. Like, I guess it depends. Like, what do you want? Like, do you want just complete massacre?
No, because that's hatred, and that's not what I want.
But there's one. How'd you like that one?
I think what he's saying is like a storyline where like instead of trying to like overcome the evil, you're like trying to suppress the good. And so like it's still similar gameplay style, but just the story and the tone is more like, hey, we have to find a way to do this. We got to exact our plan. We got to carry out.
Isn't that
and the best villains don't see themselves as villains necessarily.
Yeah, sure.
So I think it would be interesting to have,
but
your motivation not necessarily like I'm not saying have the joke, like you're not the Joker. You're not just trying to be chaotic for the sake of being chaotic.
Yes.
Like you have a goal and you see yourself as a good guy, but you're not. Like you're actually like hurting a lot of people. Like to me, that's what Breaking Bad is, and I would love to see that in a video game. Zach, go make it.
Isn't that GTA though? Just quick question.
I don't know
because like I think he wants like you have like a whole force, like you're the leader of some like evil militia
Overlord.
or evil, and then you like go and
isn't that the game Overlord where you had minions
because like
and stuff?
this is like you gotta have like a story and like go and like we gotta blow up this train because there's a lot of good scientists on it, and that can't happen. We gotta spread our neurotoxin around the city, so kill the scientists.
I don't know. I think that game sounds a lot more fun in theory than in execution, because I think even in Breaking Bad he has redeeming qualities to him. Like you like him. Like if he was just nothing but just a drug dealer, and he didn't worry about his family, and he didn't care about anybody but himself.
He didn't. Like towards the end there, season 4/5, there wasn't a whole lot he cared about other than his drug dealing ways.
Well, I don't know. I didn't watch enough
and the
of
power
it,
that came with it. Yeah,
but they did use seasons 1, 2, and 3 to give him some, like.
Yeah, I mean, and in the game, I would make there'd be some of it, but in the end, it wouldn't be about that. But yeah, we spent a little too much time on my evil video game. So.
Hype City, that's where we go.
Hype City.
You can email us at can'tstopasking@gmail.com if you like. But Hype City is the train's taking off.
If you wanna, if you're a hunk.
Yeah, if you're a hunk.
What?
Breaking news, Gabe. So season 4 of Steve Rule. Did I tell you this?
Is it real?
It's
real.
real.
It happening?
Coming in 2016. I literally was freaking out the other night.
That's
no, not Netflix. To Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Is that the show where you like the guy? What's his name? John C. Reilly. Where
the one I showed you at PAX. Yeah.
Going to Toronto.
Yeah, going to Los Angeles.
Zach put me onto it.
Oh, that's where the no hunks allowed is.
Yeah.
I just got it. Wow, I'm slow. I'm sorry.
Kind of a hunk.
I only got it now.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
Hype City. What are we excited for? Lots of stuff has come out, but there's still plenty more to go. So,
okay, go, Gabe.
Star Wars, man. Star Wars mania has bit me, and it hurts. Ow,
the movie or Battlefront?
Spray.
Huh?
The movie or Battlefront? Sorry, I just didn't.
No, just Star Wars in general.
Oh, okay.
The movie has me like crazy excited. The game obviously coming, and everybody's excited about that. But I think it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan, and there's a lot of them out there. It's $600 million.
That's going to be crazy
weekend.
If they do that. I mean, I don't know. That's going to be weird. It feels like that would like collapse the economy. I don't know. That's just weird. So much money. That's crazy. So Zach.
I don't know if you saw that they were selling like shower heads or whatever, like the Vader shower head. So somebody tweeted.
Wait,
where
does it pour from? Like the eyes, or how does it work?
Yeah, the eye, like the whole face, like the eyes and the mouth.
It's like Vader's crying. Look at that.
Yeah,
permanent.
So somebody said, "Man, Disney's trying to get all $40 billion back on year one,"
well,
which they're not that far off from.
Hasbro said that they're going to do $4 billion in merchandise, like for toys and stuff.
Yeah.
So. Crazy.
They got it back on
Ladies and gentlemen,
one.
if you have investment capital, it might be a good idea to invest in Disney. They have a lot of big hits coming up. Zach, what are you hyped for?
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Should be getting it next week, and I cannot wait. I watched a video where they were showing... Yeah, like the hub world kind of thing where it's much more. They're trying to open it up more, and I think that's really exciting. I don't know. I look at those
I'm
videos.
not. You see, I'm worried about that. That made me go oh, because I loved that it was so like I liked how it was so kind of open, but it was still limited. Like it was kind of like a triangle shape. Like it started wide, and then it would always focus you down.
I think that's
to
what
the
this
mission.
is, just with more of it. I don't know. Like, to me, I look at that game. I look at how much they're doing with customization. I look at what they're doing with, like, the card packs. I look at what they're doing with upgrades. I look at what they're doing with even, like, you can read, the hieroglyphics and tombs and eventually learn those languages and decode them. I look at all that, and then I look at Uncharted, which is like, shoot, shoot, bang, bang, haha. Like, there's literally nothing else to that game, and I don't understand how people aren't, like, worried that, like, why hasn't Naughty Dog made some
Zach,
changes?
Don't even start me
all right.
on this.
So, anyways, I'm very
just
excited.
Just say what you're hyped for.
Very hyped for Rise of the
I'm gonna
Tomb
go
Raider.
off.
Very hyped for Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay, so for me, I'd probably say, I mean, I want to say Star Wars as well because I agree with Gabe, but at the same time, you know what? I'm probably just going to pick Halo then, since next week it's kind of like when we're going to get to play it with the general audience, and that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to, because I recall spending many hours on Halo 3 with like some of my buddies and stuff, and I hope that I get to recreate that in some way in Halo. Goodness gracious.
Maybe this time you can do it with your mates.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for the multiplayer for Halo, to play that. And I'm actually excited to also see where the single player goes, because I didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but I think I really like where the story starts. Like I'm on mission 5, I think. And I hope that it sticks with this and doesn't get to weird Halo convoluted stuff. I hope it stays like this kind of cool, almost like action thriller kind of film.
And that's what I said last time. It's a straightforward like Halo story. Like, I like it.
Yeah. So
Sweet.
there you go. Hype City.
Lots of good stuff coming out. Next week we'll have an interview, our first ever
interview, guys.
Yes.
You guys should be excited.
Now, you see, the thing is, it could be our last ever interview, too. It could be kind of a little bit of both, Welcome to the first ever interview episode, and welcome to the last ever interview episode.
We have some fantastic questions ready.
We do. So that'll be happening next week. We'll probably talk about Tomb Raider as long as I get in time. I'm going to play...
I like how you keep saying I. What if we get it in time, all of us? You don't know.
I don't think you will. I'm going to play
Wow.
Evolve next week.
Look at that.
New Evolve content. The Battleborn embargo's up.
That game is still operational?
Yes. So lots of good new stuff. Plus whatever
the servers haven't shut down yet?
No. Plus whatever else.
Wait, do you have people to play with? Or do you just set up 5 controllers?
Okay, so Evolve introduced this thing called artificial intelligence, where you can play against the computer. It's really fun. Anyhow, yeah, so I don't think there's any major release next week. I'm going to try to get some more time in with Rock Band.
Well, except for
Guitar
Halo.
Hero.
That's kind of a big release.
Halo. So we'll probably talk more late game Halo and multiplayer stuff. And then
we'll have a full on Halo spoiler.
Yeah, guys, you realize the next 3 weeks is going to be Halo, Call of Duty, Fallout, Battlefront. That's
4,
insane.
but yeah.
Well, sorry, the next 4 weeks.
And Call of Duty is somewhere in there.
Call of Duty isn't it? The week after Halo.
So, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Need for Speed next week for all you fans.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Also Halloween, so you get to see the costumes that we chose.
Oh yeah.
Anyhow, thank you guys and girls so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't reviewed already, go for it. Send us an email at cancelsebastian@gmail.com. If you watch it on iTunes, instead go watch it on YouTube.
How do you do it?
If you watch it on YouTube, go listen to it on iTunes. And until next week, which will be October 30th, as we approach, we're not going to be
Eve.
We are going to be 40 by the end of the year. We're going to reach the 40th episode by the end of the year.
We're so old.
Old and past our prime. But right now, we're right in the midst of it. So thank you guys for being a part of it. Thanks to Max for stepping away from his campaign trail for a little bit. And Gabe, I hope you don't get swallowed by the hurricane.
I hope I do.
You hope you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well,
very
nice
depressed
story to
Gabe
tell.
this week, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I'm
Very
not
depressed.
depressed
We'll
at
get
all.
him positive next week, guys. Don't
No,
worry.
I'm not depressed at all. Fun fact, whenever you're depressed, go do something nice for someone and it cures it.
There we go. And on those emotional words of wisdom, we will see you all later.
Goodbye.